Al Williams here. Another very quick and dirty video on some of the 1802 stuff I've been doing lately. This is actually the fourth program that I've been working with, and I wanted to show how to kind of save and load things and what the options are there. And this is actually running on the 1802 Black, which is an emulated 1802 on a black pill that I wrote. It's actually derived from Oscar's Kim Uno. We turned into the 1802 Uno, and now it's on the black pill. But it would work just as well on regular hardware. I have that too, and it all works just the same. I'm going to start off showing you the file protocols in Minicom. And of course, if you used another piece of software, you'd have to figure out something similar. But if you notice, there's two things here. There's the Elf fourth protocol, which uses a program I wrote called Elf2K-Xfer. And basically, it's going to send lines. It's going to wait for each character to get an echo, and it's going to look and see that it gets a K back. That's from the OK. It's going to look for one more character, which is a space, but it doesn't matter. And then if it sees an E, that's going to be an error, and that would be either ERR or stack empty. So that'll tell it to abort in that case. The other thing we're going to use here is elfxmod, which goes to this SX slow. That's actually a shell script that calls another program that I wrote. And all this is documented on the COSMAC Elf Groups IO group. The idea here is to slow down X-modem transfers. X-modem doesn't echo characters, so when we're doing X-modem, it's got to have a little bit of time between each character to process, and particularly, I think, in between the blocks. So this just slows it down a little bit. That's particularly important on the bit-banged serial, unless you're going really, really slow. But even on the hardware serial, it's probably useful as well. So that's the setup. So let's start off with sending a file using this Elf4th protocol. That's the top one there. And what we're going to do is we're going to do high-low dot fourth. And so that's just ASCII text. Now I just made a mistake though, and it's a common mistake, and I wanted to show it to you. So if you look at what's in the words right now, you can see that there's a bunch of things like play, and you say, okay, let's do that. Well, you get an error. Why do you get an error? Well, because it needs extended words that are not loaded by default, and they're not in that file. They could have been in that file, but they're not. So I'm going to load those extended words using bload. Now, if I look at my words now, I've got a lot of extra words, but look what happened. It wiped out what I just loaded. So that means we need to do that again. So I shouldn't have done that the first time, right? I should have done the bload before I did anything else, and then did this. Okay, and now we have everything. And if I do play, okay, it says think of a number from 1 to 1,000 and I will guess it. Is it 500? Well, let's say it's, I don't know, 619, let's say. So I say, well, that's too low. Is it 750? Well, that's too high. Is it 625? That is also too high. Too low. Too low. Too low. A little bit too low. A little bit too high. And there it is. Correct. So it says, yay me, I took only 9 tries, and you could type play to play again. So just a really simple little game. It was in an ASCII text file. You could have edited it with a normal editor, do whatever you want to do with it, add things, delete things. However, sometimes you want to save it in a binary file, and you can do that with save, and that will save this entire workspace in a binary format. To do that, we're going to receive a file on Xmodem, and I'm going to call this high-low demo.4thxm. Always put the XM on the back just to remind myself it's an Xmodem file. And you see that was relatively quick. It sent it all to us. So I'm going to do a bload again, and that wiped me out. I'm back down to just the core words and the extended words, but none of my words are in there. And now I'm going to do an Xmodem send. So I'm going to do a load, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom where it has the Elf X mod. And now I'm going to give it that same file name. And it's going to take a while to start. What it is it's got to kick off the process by sending a NAC. And it's hoping we will get ready by the time it sends. So it waits a long time before it actually sends that first one. So you see how long that took. And now it's kicking right along. And it's got to load 14 blocks. This is going through that slowdown filter. So unsurprisingly, it's not as fast as the saving. It's still pretty good. And there it is, transfer complete. And if we look at our words now, there's everything that we had. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to play again. I'm going to think of the number 500, so that just happens to be correct. Amazing. One whole try. So I could also, if I wanted to save this in the format that I started with, in ASCII, you can actually do a list, and that will give you everything that's in there except the core words, but all the words with definitions, with fourth definitions, will be listed that way. So what you could do is do a file capture, and you could say something like, I don't know, hilo-x.text, let's just say, and then say list, and then we're going to do another file capture command and close that. So now that text file has all of this in it. I could go in the editor, kill everything from the front up through this dump word, which is the last of the extended words, and then just leave this stuff here, variable guess, all the way through, kill this last OK, and then I'd have an ASCII file that I could have brought up the way I did at the very beginning of this video. So a lot of little nuances, but overall I can load in binary, save in binary, load in ASCII, save in ASCII, and it all works pretty well. So I hope that helped you in some way, and I'll try to make some other quick and dirty videos to show more things on the system, like debugging on the emulator and I don't know, a few other things like that. But thanks for watching.